Shoulder pads might be making a comeback on the runway, but the Donald's been rocking them since the 80s, on trend or not, and he isn't the only member of the Trump clan who's down for an out-of-date throwback. Donald Trump became a household name in the 1980s, and one could argue that his fashion choices got stuck there. Look no further than his ill-fitting power suits, complete with uber-obvious shoulder pads. Of course, like any trend, power suits and shoulder pads go in and out of style. In 2024, for example, Yves Saint Laurent referenced the silhouette in a new collection. The Donald, however, has been wearing this style unironically for more than 40 years. Reflecting on Trump's commitment to shoulder pads in an op-ed for the New York Times, menswear expert Derek Guy noted that many businessmen in the 80s embraced the power suit because of what it represented at the time, explaining, combined with a flashy power tie and a contrast banker collar, thick shoulder pads symbolize the greed is good ethos and the bravado of a new tycoon class. Today, Mr. Trump's square-shouldered suits serve as a central part of his presentation as an unapologetic outsider, waging war on an entrenched elite. A high-fashion power suit is one thing, but an ill-fitting one is another. Despite being made by Italian designer Brioni, Trump's suits are inevitably tailored too long and perpetually creased. As University of Illinois communications professor John Murphy told Mel magazine, Trump hasn't had a suit that fit the entire campaign, which is remarkable, especially in the wake of Obama.
If the leader of the free world doesn't know how to wear a tie, we have a serious problem.
The outfit Ivanka Trump wore the night of the 2024 election looked like something you might have seen on stage at Harry Styles' 2017 World Tour. For the election watch party, she paired a blue velvet suit with a blue satin shirt and shiny black shoes. Now, blue velvet can be a timeless look, but bright blue velvet combined with bright blue satin made her look like she was putting her own spin on Styles' spin on Ziggy Stardust. Some found Ivanka's suit tacky, while others suspected the blue was a thinly veiled dig at her father's political party.
Politics is a pretty dark world. Like, there's a lot of darkness, a lot of negativity.
Whatever the case, this fashion moment may be remembered, but not for the right reasons. Once upon a time, Tiffany Trump would have been the belle of the ball in this mini dress from Philip Plein. But in the Trump family tradition, Tiffany latched onto the trend too late. In 2017, she headed to a New York Fashion Week event in a black maximalist mini dress with cutouts that gave off indie sleaze in the vein of Kate Moss's glittery Glasto look from 2005. The bold embellishments, however, took the look all the way back to the 90s. Tiffany was stuck in a no-man's land between trends. Plein would be the first to acknowledge that his aesthetic isn't exactly understated. Look no further than the hem of Tiffany's dress. At first glance, the detail along the bottom looks like blocks of rhinestones or sequins. Turns out, those sparkles actually spell out the designer's name. Right impulse, wrong era. Born in 1977, Donald Trump Jr. was too young to embrace the 80s businessman look during the actual 80s. But now that he's all grown up, he dresses like a supporting character from American Psycho. His love of wide neckties and power suits are the opposite of fashion forward. They're fashion backward. Unlike his dad, once in a while Don Jr. accidentally lands on a trend, such as the TikTok corpcore craze that made the rounds in early 2024.
You need to dress like you have a job.
Shopbop's Caroline McGuire explained to Coveteur how corpcore puts a spin on classic workwear, saying, "What makes the trend fun is that it goes all the way, lending a bit of camp to the looks we've seen on social and in street style. If only Don Jr. was going for camp with his outfits. But no, his style is way more 80s investment banker than 2024 runway. Don Jr., if you're watching this, please ditch your dad's favorite clothing brands. There are plenty of young designers that would make you look more junior than senior." For some unknown reason, when Melania visited Egypt in 2018, she put on a cream suit and fedora that looked straight out of 1923, or maybe Taylor Swift's Wildest Dreams video, the one that sparked debate about whether or not it was glamorizing colonialism in Africa.
And with the exception of like a guard way off in the distance, there are no black people.
While visiting Kenya later during that same overseas tour, Melania plopped a pith helmet on her head, making her nod to British colonialism complete. If there's one thing we know about the third Mrs. Trump, it's that she's not afraid to be bold. As she wrote in her 2024 memoir, Melania, "Sometimes, in order to succeed, you must be willing to take risks and make tough decisions." This particular risk made her look like she was LARPing as a character from out of Africa. When vintage style works, it really works. Then there are the other times. In 2023, Barbiecore was everywhere from the movie screen to the Oscars red carpet, and apparently, Lara Trump wasn't ready to move on. In 2024, she hit the campaign trail in a heck of a lot of pink. We're not talking ballet slipper or cherry blossom, but pure Barbie pink. Out of all the pinks to choose from, Lara picked the one that felt oh so summer 2023. She wore her Barbie pink Trump campaign jacket everywhere from donut shops to TikTok videos. But it wasn't just the jacket. In August 2024, she wore a bright pink sleeveless dress to the 10th X-Ladies Conference in Miami. And when Time interviewed her for a July 2024 profile, she posed in a bubblegum-hued pantsuit. There's nothing wrong with wearing a color that makes you feel confident, and the color pink will always have its place. But Lara's fashion sense seems to be stuck in her Barbie dream house. Or maybe she's there by choice. After all, in 2023, she dressed up as MAGA Barbie for Halloween. It's the jacket that birthed 1,000 think pieces. While making her way to a migrant child detention center in Texas in 2018, Melania decided to wear a green parka with the phrase, "I really don't care, do you?" splashed across the back.
The jacket. Thoughts?
Why?
Given where she was headed, it wasn't a great look. On top of that, the whole outfit fell flat. The Zara jacket, which cost $39, offered a bit of a 60s mod counterculture vibe that could have worked in a nostalgic way. But the white skinny jeans, the white long-sleeve shirt, and the cinched waist of the jacket made the whole thing feel dated. While slogan tees have come in and out of style over the years, the impossible-to-miss message splashed across Melania's back couldn't have been broadcast at a worse time. As if there were ever a good time for a first lady to declare that she doesn't give a darn. Tiffany chose what looked a lot like a bandage dress a starlet would have worn for a night out on the town in the 2000s to support her dad at a 2020 presidential debate. Once upon a time, 20 years ago, every it girl from Lindsay to Kim to Giselle to Rihanna wore the skin-tight, form-fitting silhouette to award shows, A-list parties, and nightclubs. But to a nationally televised political event, it's an odd choice.
Hi, not Ivanka.
Eric, don't call her not Ivanka, buddy.
Sorry.
It's okay, Dad does.
The bandage dress is closely associated with the French fashion house Hervé Léger, which relaunched at New York Fashion Week in 2007. And speaking of French designers, Tiffany paired her 2020 debate dress with a giant, pricey Christian Dior bag. The purse reportedly cost a cool $3,000. And to top or bottom it all off, she wore platform heels, another trend that had a big moment in the 2000s. Tiffany, if you're watching this, we'd love to know what you were thinking, and in what decade you were thinking it. 2021 was the year Gen Z declared skinny jeans officially over, once and for all, but someone didn't get the memo. That same year, Ivanka was photographed leaving her Miami condo in a white tunic blouse, a wide-brimmed hat, flats, and a pair of skin-tight denim pants.
Ooh, the skinny jeans came in.
While she certainly isn't the only person who refuses to give up her skinny jeans no matter what the current denim trend might be, that doesn't make it fashion. Many people pivoted away from form-fitting clothing in general during the pandemic, embracing more comfortable cuts and styles. In 2021, Gen Zers even came for millennials on TikTok to make it clear that skinny jeans were not the look of the moment. But Ivanka didn't really care, did she? Not even after Harper's Bazaar fashion news director and former skinny jean loyalist Brooke Bobb admitted in a 2020 feature for Vogue that she'd moved on from skinny jeans. Nope, Ivanka would seemingly sooner tattoo the word millennial across her forehead than part with them. Of course, fashion is cyclical, and fortunately for Ivanka, her go-to denim is just about ready to return to the spotlight. In 2024, Paige Adams-Geller of Paige Denim told British Vogue, "We're not currently in a skinny jean cycle, but it's not far off on the horizon." Like his wife, Jared Kushner also seems to appreciate a form-hugging fit. Kushner's skinny suits are the polar opposite of the suits his father-in-law wears, and they've certainly made an impact. As former White House press secretary Stephanie Grisham wrote in, "I'll take your questions now," he was Rasputin in a slim-fitting suit. The skinny suit definitely had its moment in the 1960s when the Beatles rocked the silhouette. The look had a resurgence in the 2000s and 2010s with help from Mad Men, which was set in the 60s, and bands like The Strokes. But a present-day businessman in his button-up and skinny tie doesn't have the same effect. Since the pandemic, suit trends have swung away from the slim cut to more oversized and unstructured in general. When asked about the skinny suit moment in a 2024 interview with GQ, Taylor Leonard Logsdale asked a blunt question. Do you want to be wearing this suit in 5 years? If so, you're going to look like you're wearing a suit that's 5 years old, because by that time the fashions will have changed. That's true, but we have a feeling that Kushner's suits will stay put.